On Friday, the earth shook violently as a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck the central region of Myanmar, sending shockwaves across neighboring Thailand and even reaching parts of China. The tremors were felt in multiple countries, but the most severe damage occurred near the epicenter in Mandalay, Myanmar's second-largest city. It was just after midday when the ground beneath entire cities and towns cracked open, and buildings, some centuries old, collapsed into ruin, trapping thousands of people inside. As aftershocks continued to rattle the region, rescue workers, civilians, and international aid organizations scrambled to locate survivors and provide assistance in the wake of what is becoming one of the deadliest earthquakes to hit the region in decades. In Myanmar, the situation is becoming increasingly dire. As the day wore on, reports flooded in from Mandalay and surrounding areas. At least 144 people have been confirmed dead, with over 700 others injured. The death toll is expected to rise as rescue operations continue, but with every passing hour, it becomes clear that the full extent of the destruction is still unknown. Mandalay is left in chaos, and authorities are struggling to maintain control and organize effective relief efforts. The earthquake left behind large fissures in roads, collapsed bridges, and even damaged a major hospital. Eyewitnesses in Mandalay have shared harrowing accounts of the devastation, with one resident recalling how the buildings around him came crashing down. "We all ran out of the house as everything started shaking," he recalled. "Everyone in my town is out on the road, and no one dares to go back inside." The emotional toll on the population is hard to quantify. For many, this earthquake has added to their already overwhelming struggles. The situation is especially grim in the areas surrounding Naypyidaw, Myanmar's purpose-built capital. The government has confirmed extensive damage to critical infrastructure, including a hospital with over 1,000 beds. Rescue teams, such as those from the Mo Sadanar charity group, have already retrieved at least 60 bodies from collapsed monasteries and buildings in Myanmar. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. The damage in towns near Mandalay is extensive, with entire neighborhoods flattened. In Umrapura, a historic city close to Mandalay, rescue workers have pulled the bodies of 30 people from the rubble of collapsed apartment blocks. One worker described the scene as a collapsed city, estimating that nearly a fifth of the buildings in the area had been destroyed. Despite the overwhelming devastation, rescue teams are still tirelessly searching for survivors, though their efforts are hampered by a lack of resources. With not enough manpower or heavy equipment, many people remain trapped, unable to be reached. The Myanmar military junta, which has been in power since a 2021 coup, issued a rare appeal for international assistance. Junta leader Min Aung Hlaing acknowledged the scale of the disaster, confirming that the death toll is expected to rise and stating that the country would welcome help from any nation or organization willing to provide aid. This rare call for help from a government known for its isolationism highlights the gravity of the situation. However, there are serious concerns about access to the affected areas due to the country's ongoing political instability and communication restrictions. With much of Myanmar embroiled in civil unrest, it remains uncertain how effectively aid can reach all areas, particularly those controlled by anti-junta militias. Meanwhile, across the border in Thailand, the impact of the earthquake was felt strongly in Bangkok, where an unfinished high-rise construction project collapsed, trapping dozens of workers inside. Authorities have confirmed at least 6 deaths from the building's collapse, and rescue operations are ongoing, with drones, sniffer dogs, and search teams combing the wreckage for survivors. The Thai capital, with a population of over 17 million people, had never experienced an earthquake of this magnitude before, and the tremors sent widespread panic throughout the city. In one of the city's busiest shopping malls, shoppers were jolted from their seats as the building swayed violently. One British tourist, who had been watching a film at the time, initially thought the shaking was part of the movie's special effects. It wasn't until her Taiwanese friend insisted that it was an earthquake that she fled the building, joining others being evacuated by security personnel. Across Bangkok, people were forced to evacuate buildings, and many shops were closed, leaving the streets filled with anxious residents. As night falls, rescue teams in Bangkok continue their efforts, but the situation is still unfolding. The Thai government has declared a state of emergency, and Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has called for an emergency meeting to assess the full impact of the earthquake. Authorities are bracing for the possibility of more aftershocks, and in the meantime, rescue operations continue at the collapsed high-rise and other affected sites. Despite the ongoing challenges, one resident, Alex McGregor, a Scottish expatriate, described the mood in his neighborhood as remarkably calm. As the tremors subsided, people in his area, aware that aftershocks might follow, simply sat outside on the streets, working on their laptops and chatting quietly. His experience speaks to the resilience of the Thai people, who, even in the face of such a powerful natural disaster, remained composed. Alongside local efforts, international aid organizations are mobilizing to provide assistance. The United Nations has already allocated emergency funds for relief in Myanmar, while the World Health Organization has deployed medical teams and supplies. The U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID) has also confirmed that it will send teams to Thailand to assist in the recovery. Foreign governments, including the European Union, France, and the UK, have all pledged support, while former U.S. President Donald Trump stated that his administration would help, noting that he had spoken with Myanmar officials about providing aid. The European Union, led by its chief Ursula von der Leyen, has also expressed readiness to support the relief effort, despite Myanmar's political isolation. However, humanitarian concerns are mounting, particularly regarding the condition of the country's large-scale infrastructure. The Red Cross has raised alarms about the status of key dams in the region, warning that they may be compromised due to the earthquake's damage. As these concerns grow, international aid organizations are working around the clock to assess the situation and provide relief. The International Federation of the Red Cross, for example, is focusing on the immediate needs of those who have lost everything, providing medical and material assistance where possible. But logistical challenges remain significant. With many roads and bridges destroyed, reaching remote areas of Myanmar, especially those caught in the ongoing civil conflict, will be a major challenge. In China, the earthquake's impact was also felt in Yunnan and Sichuan provinces, where the tremors caused injuries and damage to buildings in cities near the Myanmar border. In Ruili, a city just across from Myanmar, debris littered the streets, and people were seen being rushed to ambulances. In the city of Mangshur, the shaking was so intense that many people were unable to stand, seeking shelter wherever they could find it. As night settles in, the full scale of the devastation continues to emerge. Rescue operations are ongoing, and the death toll is expected to rise further. The destruction is vast, affecting not just the infrastructure of these countries but also the lives of the people who call them home. The earthquake has left a deep and lasting impact on Myanmar, Thailand, and China, and the efforts to rebuild and recover will likely span many years. This tragic event underscores the resilience of the affected populations and highlights the global community's commitment to providing assistance in times of crisis. As the world watches the aftermath unfold, it will become clear just how much effort is required to heal these nations and rebuild what has been lost. But for now, the focus remains on searching for survivors, delivering aid, and offering support to those who have suffered so much.